a short lunch break planned for you. Lunch is served. Please make your way to the lunchroom, and we will meet back here at 3 o'clock. So it's only short, but let's replenish quickly and meet back here to continue the celebrations. As we have our friends coming back from lunch, slowly but surely, we won't take another minute before we invite our speakers for this panel onto the stage. So I'll start welcoming our beautiful speakers, and we'll crowd up the hall simultaneously. Thank you, Harbeen. Yes. Good. Let's bring the energies in. Yes. Thank you. Good. I know this is a difficult time in our day. It's time for a siesta, but instead of a siesta, what we're actually going to do is take it up a notch. Yes? Are you going to join us in taking it up a notch? Yes? Yeah, thank you. Somebody's joining me backstage. Yay! Yeah, listen, tell your friends to make noise. Where is everyone?
I don't know.
Okay, you organize them. Okay. We've curated a very pertinent session for this post-lunch conversation. We know the one thing that's constant in our lives. What is the one thing? Give me one word, okay, of one thing that's constant in our lives. Change. There we go. Exactly. That's why we're talking about change as an invitation for growth and innovation. Because change is a powerful tool, and to be able to deal with it efficiently, lovingly, with an open heart and an open soul is a very, very powerful tool. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Please join me in welcoming our speakers for this session. We have preeminent ladies who are coming from around the world to have this conversation with us. So please offer your heart spaces for this conversation, for this deep diving. Welcoming Sashka Zwan. Woo! The Pro-Curator and General Manager at Contact Center Operations, Slovenia. It's a pleasure to be joined by you. Please have a seat. If we could have on the stage, my pleasure to welcome Allegra Jenkins. Woo! The founder of Insightful Journeys, a sound healer, a healer who embodies sisterhood and love in her heart and spirit. Somebody who's made her home in Croatia and right in our hearts. Welcoming you, Allegra. Have a seat. Saskia Harkema. Welcoming the lovely Saskia. She's the CEO and ambassador of Faces of Change and Female Wave of Change, the Netherlands. Welcoming you. It's a pleasure. Have a seat. Daria Zorko-Menchin. My pleasure to welcome once again on the stage a soul sister, Daria Zorko-Menchin. Insights trainer and transformational coach and mentor from Slovenia, empowering professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners to reach and fulfill their fullest potential. Welcoming you once again, Daria. If I could invite somebody coming all the way from UK, Sharon Critchlow. There you are, welcoming the lovely Sharon, the director and the co-founder of Discover Your Bounce, helping people bounce back into their fullest of beings. Our last speaker, inviting the actress, the TV host, a face we all know in Slovenia, Zvezdana Mlakar. Woo! She's done this before. Shall we hear it for these ladies once again? Yes. Inviting Zaska Zwan to share her journey with us. Welcoming you this afternoon.
Thank you. So, hello everyone. Well, let me begin with this. I'm no speaker, and this is my first time, speaking in front of such an audience, and I'm afraid to that. Because this is really out of my comfort zone, but probably my path to a journey, to development and growth. And starting maybe with the innovation. What is innovation? I mean, for sure, we all agree that we live in a world driven by innovation. Simple definition would be probably that this is the result of a process in which disruptive ideas create change. So when I started my career, I was driven by a change. And, my first actually surprise was after at the end of my faculty, when I was invited to a talented position at a big corporation, that the world is not moving in the way that I was thinking that it will. Since, there were two candidates and I was competing for the position at the end, me, one of them, having best results, not be selected due to one reason, and this was like I was the wrong gender. But that didn't stop me. So, I was in a search for development, for growth. So, I was looking for careers where there would be innovativeness, drive, and so on. So, of course, I was in pursuit at the beginning also for financial for financial independence, for professional growth. And, at one point, I thought I figured it all out. So I was a skilled professional. I was driving, operations, leading employees, developing business. But, at the age of 37, I stopped and I say, okay, I forgot one thing. I forgot just simply how to be me, how to have fun, how to feel passion, in this corporate world where everybody was saying, you need to do this and you need to be like that. So I became a mother. And of course, while being on the top of my career, I didn't think that I will stop working. So I organized all my schedule around information, working schedule around information that, babies are sleeping 20 hours a day. Look at my surprise when that didn't happen. Actually, this little sunshine was probably awake 20 hours a day. So imagine me, someone else is suddenly organizing my life, and also, I had to figure it out. Career plus family, quality family life. And that opened my heart and changed my views probably forever. And I'm still changing. So, like Einstein said, life is like riding a bicycle. In order to keep your balance, you must keep moving. And our world is really moving fast. It's changing at enormous speed. So sometimes I have a feeling, that the science fiction movies are becoming science fact. or, that we are on this flight of growth, somewhere going up and up. And there is one thing that is missing is a vision where, how, and, when we will be able to land safely. So I believe we are also the first generation of mass production and mass consumption, but also probably the first and last generation that can still change the direction of where we are moving. At this moment, I think that we are all supporting the maximization of the profit of the 1% of the wealthiest population of the globe. But is this really what we want? Or do we want to use all the knowledge and technologies and innovations to actually make a better environment for everybody? So don't get me wrong, the innovation is good. Without innovation, there would be no growth, and growth is good, of course. Children are growing, nature is growing, but they all eventually grow up as well. So, all these technologies or innovations that we're seeing around us, like smart cities, smart homes, robots, automation, artificial intelligence, they're all becoming our reality if they're already not now. But the complexity of the world is actually changing or rising at such extent that it's making people nervous. It's making simple people or people that are left behind afraid. What is going to happen to them? Are robots actually replacing them? So I believe that, we need to, that will happen, yes and no. It's up to us in what way. And I think that we need to keep in mind that machines are really very good at simulating, but not at being. So we need to look beyond technology and data to reach human insights and wisdom. Because we people are actually those that have imagination, emotions, intuition, and ethics. And we really shouldn't lose that over materialism and money or whatever we are driven by. So the technology should only represent the how of change, but we should say when and why. And maybe to conclude this, I think that it is our responsibility of each and one of us to use technology and innovations wisely with the highest respect to a fellow human and the highest sensibility to our environment. Because at the end of the day, the humanity is where true and lasting value is created. So, thank you. How did I do?
Wow! Amazing.
First speaker.
Amazing. Bravo. You would have fooled us, Sashka. That was not like a first speech at all. You did phenomenal. Thank you. Yay! Requesting Allegra Jenkins to take us on an insightful journey. All yours.
Before I start, I would like to recognize the fact that the vast majority of you are doing this whole session in a language which isn't your native language. So apart from a few of us here, I recognize that it is really exhausting doing it in a language which isn't your language. So thank you, because I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it in any other language. Okay, change. In my life, I changed from a girl to a woman. It was quite a big one. A woman to a mother. I was a wife for 35 years. Then my husband died. So I went from a wife to a widow. That was a big one. I went from a sessional worker, working hours, to the director of the International Center for Excellence and Educational Opportunities, which was launched in the World Expo in Shanghai. That was quite meteoric. And then I went from that to a shamanic sound healer, and I chose to live in Croatia because I I knew that I needed to leave the city that I was living in. So these were all big changes. And looking back, around the time of my husband's death, from a year earlier to now, my spiritual journey kicked in. And I look back at the changes that are occurring and occurred, and I look back at my amazing career, and I did it with intuition. I followed my gut. I followed what felt right. But with my spiritual journey, I learnt to do that consciously. And for me, I go to a place of a little dancing girl. She's 6, and I can connect with her. So what I'd like to do now is I know many of you probably do this, but what I'd like to do is just to let you see a way of connecting with your little dancing girl or little dancing boy. So can you unfold your legs, sit on your chair, and get your back straight? So be conscious of your body, be conscious of your back being straight with your feet on the ground. Maybe you've put the phone down. And maybe close your eyes. Maybe feel your body. Become conscious of your body. Become conscious of your breath coming into your body, your breath going out of your body. Be conscious of your feet on the ground. Conscious of your stomach. Be conscious of your heart. Be conscious of your ears and your mouth. You've been listening and you've been talking. Be conscious of your third eye. And you know that because when you go, it's not about seeing, it's about and we've had a lot of those aha moments. So be conscious of that. And then be conscious of the crown. Feel the top of your head. With your eyes closed, feel a golden light, safe and secure, coming down, connecting with your crown, coming down through your body, connecting with your breath, coming down through your spine, connecting with the base of your spine, coming down and connecting to your feet. Feel that light coming down. Feel the safety and security of the connection. And then very gently come back up and find a place close to your heart. And in that place, find a voice. That's your voice. That's your knowledge. That's your right or wrong. And just stay in that place and listen to that voice for a moment. And then feel your breath coming into your body. Feel your breath leaving your body. Become conscious of your body around your breath. Maybe feel your fingers, maybe feel your toes. Feel your body on the chair. And very slowly, move your shoulders, wriggle your feet, wriggle your fingers. And when you're ready and in your own time, open your eyes. And come back to this place of insight, this place of learning. And look around you and connect with some other woman. Look them in the eye, wave to them, recognize them. And that's why we're here. We're here to connect. We're here to connect with each other, to network, to learn. But we're here to connect with ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you for that very special journey. Insightful it was, but it was also very yummy. Thank you. That was very special. You know yummy when you go there. I'd like to call on our next speaker. You see, such a special, energetic shift that transpired because of that journey you took us on. It's so apparent. Energy is real. I'd like to invite our next speaker, Saskia Harkina, to please speak with us and share her journey. Welcoming you, Saskia. Once again, so great to see you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, I think this is better. It's really a pleasure to be here, and I want to share a story with you. So I asked you, it's like a journey. I ask you to embark on this journey with me. I recently read that when we are very small, we unconsciously develop a script, a story, a kind of life plan of how we expect our life to evolve. The story or script is based on our perceptions and experiences in the first 7 years of our life. There are two alter egos in that process: the small professor and the natural child. We discover as we grow up that the world where we live in is not always in tune with our most inner drives, our passion, our core. And the small professor then kicks in to develop tactics to survive and be able to cope. In the course of that process, somehow the natural child more and more recedes to the background or goes underground and may not show itself at all, depending on what happens in our lives. We develop a way of doing things, of how we think we should lead our lives, also in light of expectations of parents, teachers, other adults that we meet along the way. The outcome of this process is symbolically described as a frozen icicle, a piece of ice. It is an unresolvable dilemma between lessons learned of parents, the adapted child, and the natural child. When I read this, I realized that if our goal is to change, it is something which requires effort, mastery, creativity, and endurance. I like the metaphor of the small professor who at times, as an unwelcome guest, is always directing, commenting, criticizing, challenging, and undermining our choices. Growing up and educating, in a sense, is a journey to be boxed in of how we are supposed to behave and what we should do. Partly this is cultural, but in general I would say that our individual freedom is limited. So how do we unwrap our natural and authentic child so it starts to become our engine for innovation and growth? I spoke to a psychiatrist about this. He taught me a very simple lesson, which for me is where we should start. He said, and I invite you to do so, visualize the child you were. Really take time to do that. In your mind, look at the child, and with your hands, touch its contours with love. Its eyes, its hands, its nose, its mouth, its body, and then embrace it. Just embrace it. You're welcoming it in your life. You're giving the natural child permission to be part of your life. This child with all its curiosity, imperfection, insecurity, boldness, rebellion, and above all, vitality and lust for life. This is where change starts, in my view, because change starts with us. We must have a thorough understanding of who we are, not behind the masks that we have developed over our lifetime, but stripped from them. So to be able to change, we must dig deep and go back to our roots. I compare us to a tree of life with deep, intricate roots. We easily say we want to change, or change is needed. Obama's words, "Yes, we can," are nearly biblical. It suggests that where there is a will, there is a way, but is willpower enough? In my view, to be able to change, we need to understand change and understand that our instinct is to resist change, and this serves a purpose. We develop routines in our lives to make things easier, all kinds of routines. It's kind of our personal protocol or guideline, which we developed under the guidance of the small professor. But routines by nature are rigid. They are like icicles. So in order to ignite change, we somehow have to unfreeze the icicles so they become fluid again. Change goes in steps. You have to start with why. Why do you want to change? And then change one thing at a time. Don't try to change all at once. The natural child will protest. It needs to learn to walk. Understand how the change in mindset and behavior serves you. And above all, sit with the discomfort of change. Change pulls you out of your comfort zone, so you will feel uncomfortable. This is part of your journey. And take baby steps. Experiment, fall, try, learn, and retry. The natural child has to learn to walk, so be patient and kind. Don't drill it like a soldier. Set no time limits. Let change happen at a pace that feels right to you. Remember, change doesn't have to be perfect. It's a process. I recently read, to wrap up, the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's a story of a young shepherd, a Spanish shepherd who goes on a journey in a quest for treasure to realize his personal legend. And along the way, he runs into many hurdles and obstacles. The constant theme of The Alchemist is to pursue your dreams by following what your heart desires. And with each hurdle and passing obstacle the young boy encounters, there is a lesson to learn. He realizes that he must go on his own personal legend, no matter how difficult. He learns to use his heart to overcome fear. He learns to use his soul to never lose hope when faced with adversity. He learns to focus on his own journey, disregarding the influences of society. We all have a dream. Change is an invitation to rediscover the natural child in ourselves, nurture it, and treat it like we would have liked to be treated. Guide it with endless love and compassion, and integrate it in our lives, so you will become, and we will become the hero in our own life journey, and start writing our own personal legend. Change, then, is a real engine for personal growth and innovation. Thank you.
Thank you, Saskia. We must unfreeze the icicles of fear so the fluidity of change can come about. Beautiful allegory. Thank you. I'd like to welcome, yes, let's do that. I'd like to welcome our next speaker, welcoming Daria Zorko-Mensin. Welcoming Daria, an insights trainer and transformational coach and mentor.
Good afternoon, everyone, dear ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to come back to Slovenia. I'm really honored to be here in this Women Economic Forum. This is my sixth time in this kind of event, and I'm very happy that I can be a part of this. I have only one sister when I joined my Women Economic Forum after 5 years ago in London. And in my parallel workshop, it was talking about the success, and there was more than 20 countries participants. And at that time, I really recognized the power of connection and the power of women working together. I have been starting working with different countries, with different partners, and I'm really deeply connected with the challenge and with the changes. I had been living in different countries. Now I'm living in Ukraine, in Kiev. So this is 7 countries which I had been living now. And I had really a pleasure, and it was a challenge to live in different countries like Malta, Turkey, India, Sweden, Argentina, Switzerland, and now Ukraine. So you can imagine that these countries are really different, and it's really a challenge and kind of wisdom when you are able to work with different people, different culture, and different business. So in my personal life, I was working and trying to get as much as possible to have different innovation ways of unlock full potential for the people and their organization. Today I will start with the quote, "No one knows how far it is goes." So this is Moana from Disney movies quote. And I really like it because it's really, when we are talking about the change, it's really unlimited, and we can really make a good impact of the change. For example, from Ukrainian, you know, now it's very trendy to travel to this Chernobyl. I never see before that this will be a top challenge and top tourist attraction in Kiev or in Ukraine. So the challenge and the change can be really happen very quickly and very unusual in how it does now. So when we are talking about the challenge, I think it's very important that we are consider life as a series of natural and spontaneous changes, and we just go with the flow forward and whatever way they like. We cannot control, but we can control how to manage, react, and to work through the change process. It is interesting that change is happened, we at least expect it. Life set us a challenge to test our courage and willingness to change. At the moment, there is no pretending that we are not ready to do this, or we are not prepared well in this time. So challenge is not the weight. It's just our opportunity. And I really would like to force you or to point it out in some way that everything is about the right mindset, and it's our purpose and our aim to share experience and make good progress in business and in personal life. I know from all my different challenges, which was really a lot and which was very difficult sometimes, that I'm growing so much out of it. So I would like to share some experience and some approach if I have more time, but today I would like to point it out that very good results comes from our values. And I am considering these 5 different values, which is very important. Mindset to abundance, be perfect at what we do. This is the very important things. Be easiest to work with, not complicated too much or not to make a lot of doubts about everything. Be family first. It's one of my values, and I am proud of it that I put my family on the first step and first way. I have so many things to say for the challenge. and for the changes. And it's very important that I always said, what can I do? There is one opportunity for me in any kind of challenge. And collaboration is the job, and it's really important that we learn how to make connection by helping others and by helping ourselves. As a successful people and a hard achievement, we need to have active role to the change in any kind of environment where people can be successful, healthy, and happy in a true global society. Let's ensure every person to be able to contribute the best of his and her capabilities. Let's plan and make integration of work and challenge yourself. My message from the heart is that we need to stop waiting to be ready for Friday, for summer, for next year. Today is the way of the action. And today is it's the day for action and making change for better world. Let's go together as a butterfly effect without limits. I'm so proud that I was able to work with different people, with different projects, and I'm proud that I'm Slovenia, but I'm not from small Slovenia, but I'm from really, I'm proud that I can be together with other people, and I can make some results out of it. Regardless what is my national, what is my education, or what is my background. The most important is our purpose, our energy, and our connection with other people. And I really believe that being and working together with different countries, with different cultures and different business, it's a big challenge, and it's really worthwhile everywhere. So I am now in Kiev, so next 4 years I will be like a bridge between Slovenia and Ukraine, and I am willing to support and to promote Slovenian culture, business, and all kinds of experience from here to Ukraine and back. So please have together our bridge together.
Thank you, Daria. Thank you for that insightful sharing. And thank you for your participation in the Women Economic Forums. That support means the world. That means you're a true ambassador. And you really are, for living in 7 countries. Allegra, I also want to point out, you said that they're doing a fantastic job of listening to a non-native language. I think so many of us here who've been sharing Daria today, they're speaking in a non-native language, and I think that's commendable to do it with so much love and elan. Daria, thank you. Super, I heard super. I'd like to invite Sharon Critchlow, the co-founder of Discover Your Bounds.
Can everyone hear me? Oh, amazing.
Oh, yes.
I've decided to go with this microphone rather than stand behind that because I stood behind one of them once. I did a wonderful speech. Nobody knew who delivered it. No one could see me. They thought that artificial intelligence had taken on a new reign. They thought the thing was doing it for us, and it wasn't. And as the only woman at the event, I was absolutely gutted. So I've decided ever since then that no matter how scary it is, that I would actually stand out here instead. That's the first reason. The second reason is if it's really boring and incoherent what I say, you can just look at my lovely shoes. When I first had a look at the list of things that we could talk about, I thought, well, I don't know. What do I know about any of these things? And how this was phrased in the beginning is absolutely right, that change is an invitation for innovation and growth. And we all love change, don't we? We just all sit there whenever the boss comes in and says, we're changing the computer system. And we all go, yay! Oh no, oh no. I bet he hasn't thought it through. I bet whatever it is I've got to do now is not going to be right. It's not going to be right, then I'm going to have to sort it out. And every time we come up with a new change, there's this little bit of us that goes, what am I going to lose out? Because we very rarely look at change and go, oh, there's an invitation to do something. We go, there's somebody else getting their own way and me having a little bit less. And that's probably why we look at change. And Nikki and I go into companies all the time where there's been change fatigue. They've had change, then another change, and another change. And now they've either totally ignoring it and doing their own thing, or they're actually totally depressed because they're trying to do everything. And they're not letting go of the past, they're just trundling along, and it all becomes a bit of a disaster. So when I had a thought about the title of this, about the nature of change, about the sort of fear that comes with change, about how we very rarely embrace that sort of thing, I had a look at the other words that I was given in this. So we've got invitation, because it is always our choice, but we very rarely see it as our choice. And I've sat down with many a chief exec when they've said, the board says we're going to be doing this. And I'm supposed to be leading it, and I don't believe it. And I've said, we've got a choice then, don't you? No, I'm the CEO. Oh, you always have a choice. You could always go. Or you could always change. But you always have a choice. And you might have to be a little bit brave. And actually, there's another thing about change, isn't it? Comfort zones. We've heard a little bit about comfort zones earlier. So you've got comfort zone. You've got the bit that you're actually really happy with. But are you really happy? Because this is the next thing, isn't it? When we talk about innovation. How do we stand back and think, how could I be happier? Or do I just accept what I've got? Do I just accept that actually I'm pretty good at my job, even if my boss tramples on my dreams? I'm pretty happy in the marriage, even if the husband comes home and disregards everything I've been doing in my working life. Do we go, it's enough, what I've got is enough? Or do we actually go, do you know what, I want to redesign it and do it differently? Because that's where the real innovation is. But of course, that's quite brave. Because like with any change, we could completely miss out. We could be off the mark. We could lose and have less than we had in the beginning, which is what change is about, isn't it, sometimes? It's about taking that risk. And are we happy with that risk? Or are we not? So then I had a look at the other word, growth. And that's why we're all here, isn't it? We're all here because of change. We're all here because of growth. You will not be the same people when you leave here today that you were when you came in. You will have made friends from 30 different countries, I think we heard, yeah? So if you didn't have an international network before, you do now. That's a change. You'd have actually had conversations and sat in on things where you thought, yeah, that rang a bit true, even if it was a bit painful. Or actually, that really did ring true. And that's too right. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a change. So we look at change, we look at growth, we look at innovation, and maybe we're getting it the wrong way around. Because innovation happens all the time, and it makes us change. I brought up on stage with some notes one of these. Obviously invented by a man, can't get it in my best handbag. But the good thing with this is actually this was a change that was brought about. 20 years ago, we didn't have email addresses, we didn't have internet, we didn't all of that. And as it came along, we went, I've got to have that. I looked at this phone 2 weeks ago and went, oh, I've got to have that. I can't use half of it. I haven't got a clue. But I looked at it and thought, I've got to have that. So I had to have the shoes. It was red, you see, is what it was. So, what can I say? But this is it, isn't it? So things change, and some things we can see the benefits from, so we go, oh yeah, I'm going to have that. Definitely going to have that. But a lot of things we can't see the change as being of beneficial to us. And we get this in companies all the time, people don't get it. They get the logical thing, yeah, everything changes, everything's going to be better, and then in our hearts, a bit of us dies. And actually, it doesn't have to be like that, because we talked about growth, and in fact, one of my colleagues here talked about personal growth. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here on this planet, I believe. And that's why we're here today. Because personal growth is something we can control. It is our decision. It's something that we can get up in the morning, we can decide to do things differently, see things differently, let go of attitudes that have held us back. We can make any decision we want, and we can grow, and we can change. So maybe we're looking at it the wrong way round. Maybe we should be looking at our personal growth. Maybe we should be innovating the things and the life and the lifestyle and the habits that we really want in our lives. Then we should be making the change. So on the one hand, the title of this was Change is an Invitation for Innovation and Growth. But I challenge you that maybe personal growth is an invitation for innovation and change. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sharon, for that invitation and turning this conversation on its head, upside down. Thank you. What's going on here? We know. Something's coming up. Something's cooking in that corner. Let me just hand you to the very safe hands of this lovely lady just on my left. Please welcome Swizdana Mlakar. Woo!
Hello, everybody. That is my first speech in English, and I was so afraid, so I need something to help me. And I want to call all my Slovene sisters to help me, to come to my heart, that help me, that I will tell. I have so many things to tell. But I don't know if I have this word, English word. But I believe that my speech will be speech of my heart. Why I wear this coat? Because I'm actress, we will study Harari. Do you know Harari? You know Harari, this is a book of our history. And I become crying, when I see the human being history for 70,000 years. Women still cannot cooperate together in real bottom line. Do you understand me? And do you feel it? I feel these things when I was a small girl. I don't know why I was all the time in shame when I saw my two girlfriends are fighting or not being together. I don't know what's going on. But now I understand. We can talk about cooperation. We can talk to help each other, but we don't use enough power what we have inside because we don't believe inside. So take off this coat of history. And this is not dramatical. I feel it like that. This is not because I'm an actress. This is not because I'm an actress. This is because I maybe have today this feeling that maybe our Slovene soul can speak to the other word, to other women from the world, that we must talk real thing. Why we are afraid of each other? What is in the bottom of our conversation? We are afraid that we will lose men, that men we don't like it, that we are not enough teen, that we are not enough beautiful, that we are not enough clever. I hear it so many times in my life. Oh, you are blonde, you are so cute. And I was never clever enough. I was never showing enough. I was never giving enough to understand me, to listen to me. Now I'm 60 years old and sometimes they listen to me. But Slovene women listen, and I'm talking with Slovene women, with many women, and there is so many sadness out there. There is so many loose women, you know, they are afraid. They don't have to, they don't know how to raise the children. They don't have any power. There, outside, we must help to these women. Whenever you are a director, oh my God, how many minutes I have? It's so important. It's so important that we understand, and you understand, and you go outside. Wherever you are, if you are a director, that was the worst director in my life, are women, you know, they're always jealous on me. And I swear in my God, I was never jealous on women. I gave every woman in my life a place, and I can admire. And I want to tell you, believe in your strong inside. Go inside, listen to what you think, what you are. Go inside, be honest, and find the power of your life. We have everything inside. I raised three sons. I teach them how to treat woman, how to treat nature, how to be thankful that they are in this world, in this earth. I do it, I swear. So do it, you do it too. And thank you. This speech is coming. Oh, I win myself. I'm so happy. I really want now to testimony. I don't know. I was a small girl, and my grandmother was in a vineyard living. You know, she was like this. And I saw how with my grandfather, how they are in love. You know, they was married for 50, 60 years, and they still love each other in the way of working, of going on. And I have these things in my mind, and I was thinking that is the word I'm growing up, it will be like that. It will be like that because I'm here and you are here, so go on.
Svetlana, you have moved us to a space of speechlessness. We have laughed, we have been moved, we have cried in those 8 minutes that seemed like a movie. You were a movie. Thank you for taking us on that very powerful, very soul-stirring journey. Thank you. And thank you to each one of you ladies for taking us on your special journeys. For that, we salute you. We salute the women in you. We salute the leader in you. Please come up together so we can take a photograph. And yeah, let's hold hands. What a beautiful idea, Svetlana. Thank you for initiating that. Let's hold hands. Let's love. The rest of us can hold hands too, for the solidarity of this moment. Yes! Woo! Thank you. What a glorious panel. Hugs for all. We're a little bit short on time. And this moment, we are at the final session for the day. We're going to continue.